language here, so let's go ahead. Okay, and also, who's here? My friend from Turkey. So, Cyprus. Big song is here. All right, so let's go ahead. Okay. I think it's a historical moment because I'm so proud of you because, you are 25. He looks like 21. Okay? 25 years old and you go to Cyprus and start the ministry. It's not easy. Okay? So those who are more than 25 years old, raise your hand. More than 25, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, that's good. Who are less than 25, raise your hand. All right, that's good. So that 25 is the line that you should cut. Okay? 30? Okay. My friend John is here and he's 30 years old. Officially 30, okay?
30 in today.
30 in today? 2 days. Okay. All right, so we are going to do, can you move the speaker over because you want to feedback? So you have to move the speaker away from my, well, I can hear, okay? So let's move the speaker. I'm sorry about the feedback. And can I have everyone here so I don't have to move around? I feel like I'm very lazy today. So can you come this way? I don't have to go this way and that way. Please come this way. Okay, so let's be close here. Okay, so everyone's here? We are together? Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. This song is very, I like it, okay? Because it's going to happen to you, okay? So this song will happen to you. 5 minutes true. And if you live a long life, like 30 years old, then it will happen to you once or twice in your lifetime. So it's very relevant. So let's pray and then may God help us listen to the word of God, okay? So don't do multitasking, okay? Right? Chili? Don't do multitasking? Right? Okay, so I think he's a high level, so let's give him a hand, okay? But if you don't do multitasking, then he'll be very great. So, let's pray. My Heavenly Father, please be with us and also help us to listen to you today. I pray in Jesus' name. Okay, so please take out the Bible. Okay, look at it. So Psalm 55. Who doesn't have Bible? Share your Bible to others. Okay. All right, so look at Psalm 55. So let's work together. So this will be a very interactive session. Okay, and then all right. So we're going to read it together. We're going to read fast. Okay. Read fast. And shout out the word see. Start with the see. Come on. What? Come on, look at the text, okay? Don't look at me, okay?
Cast,
okay? Okay, let's go. Oh, you went all the way to the end? Okay, so fast, okay? Okay, come on, let it go, okay? From the start. Find the word, start with the C.
companion.
What? Companion, okay. Oh, wow. To the end, okay. Come on, there are some words in the beginning.
Complain.
Complain. Okay, complain. Okay, which one? What? Call. Okay, good. What else?
Cast.
What?
Cast.
Oh, cast. Oh, how loose is cast? Okay, that's good. What? It's there. Where? Oh, NIV, okay. You are. So you are from Turkey, so you are in America, we use English standard word. Okay? All right. So if you look at text, there are many ways to read it, okay? And this is how to read it. There are few C words, okay? What? Covenant, okay, covenant, okay? That's right, all right, so one more?
Choir master.
What?
Choir master.
Choir master, okay. All right, so, okay, that's good. Oh, okay. My son, Andrew, okay? He's in the play today. Please go and see him, okay, 2 p.m., okay? Who saw the show, for Andrew's show? Raise your hand. It was high level or low level? High level, okay? Ryan person said high level, so it's high level, okay? So please go come and see him and encourage him, okay? So choir master, complain, companion, covenant, call and cast, okay? Right. And then in there's another C.
City.
Oh, city? Okay. All right, city. Okay, that's good. All right, so Mary Council and Christ. Okay, Christ. Okay. All right, so our aim of studying Psalm is learning about Christ, right? So there are many things, but can we find Christ here? So we are Christians, right? That means, by definition, we want to find Christ. Okay, so let me talk about five things today. I'll talk about complain and mourn. And I'll talk about companion, friends. And I'll talk about the call, cast, and last of all, I'll talk about Christ. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 5 C's. There are many covenant. Okay, but there are many C's. Okay, so first, complain and mourn. Okay, I don't know when this psalm was written, 55, but I suspect that David was in a very dangerous situation. Right? And then he starts with a complain and mourns. Okay? All right, so how many people complain and mourn this morning? No? Okay. John, raise your hand, that's good. So you complain and mourn. He's 30 years old, which was so bad. So when you become 30 years old, you begin to tend to complain and mourn. Okay? And why he was complaining and mourn? In verse 1, I said, give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not yourself from my plea for mercy. Attend to me and answer me. I'm restless, and my complaint and mourn because of the noise of the enemy. Okay? So we complain and mourn because what? Because we have enemies. Enemy. He said enemy, one enemy. Right? And then we complain mourn to God for mercy. Right? So that's very natural way of human life. Because what is prayer? Prayer is we complain to God and mourn, okay? Because of enemy and your situation. So this is the first complaint and mourn. And if we are not, as Christians, we always complain more. Because there's enemy there. The enemy doesn't want to distract us from Christ. So we complain and mourn. Right? So, and then this is what David did, okay? So when you complain and mourn, there is 2 ways you can process it. Right? First of all, you don't want to face the reality. There is an issue there. But what David tried to process his complaint mourn was, of course he prayed, okay? But while he was praying, he was fantasizing. Right? And he prayed for mercy. You know how he prayed? Because his situation was very hard. So he prayed to God, God, please, 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 give me wings, okay? Like a dog, right? A dog. So my situation is so hard. Let me just fly away, okay? Like a dog, okay? Right? That's what he did. Let me just fly away. Right? So, you know, we can laugh at David, but this is the one way to cope with your complication of your life, complain and more, okay? Right? So, people always say that, okay? And people, when they struggle with the school studies, and then, please God, give me some kind of break so I can study, you know, not study and get all A's, okay? I wish I would be like an A from study so well, you know, like that, right? At least I can get D, okay? Something like that, right? Right? So give me wings, okay? And then forget about other people. Let me live in legend. That's what David said, right? David said, I don't care. You know, I have so many problems, okay? Let me just go and then become a dog and live in the wilderness, okay? Then I had wings like a dog. I would fly away and be at rest. Yes, I would wander far away. I would last in the wilderness. This is a fantasy way, okay? And then nowadays people, when the problem is, the process is that, you take lots of drugs and alcohol, okay? You just forget about America, okay? We cannot have wings, okay? But at least we can drink, okay? And forget about that, right? 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 That's what people do. That's the one way to process your hard situation, right? Right? And then or they go to Facebook, okay? I look at this lady is pretty, I like to be like that lady, something like that. Then you process it. So you waste incredible amount of time. And David did that. And then it did not work out, okay? Because she realized that suppose you're a dog, okay? And then suppose you're living in the wilderness, okay? It's a suicide. Dog cannot live in the wilderness, okay? Dog has to live in the city, and then they have to get the, because it's a romantic idea to live in the wilderness. Try to go in live in Cyprus, okay? Abraham said Cyprus. I said, Champagne, people complain about Champagne a lot, but Champagne is a paradise compared to Cyprus, northern Cyprus. Because I landed in Cyprus 1 a.m. From the airport to the school. There's no cars. I'm the only car driving. And I thought that, is it Cyprus or North Korea? And there's no coffee shops, okay, around there. So it was very hard, okay. So if you just live in the wilderness, it doesn't make any sense, okay? So let's forget about the fantasy idea, okay? Right? And then David deals with this real problem. The real problem was companion, his friend. The problem of his complaint and mourn came from his companion. And then let's look at his companion, okay? And David describes his companion like this. 12, verse 12. If it's not an enemy who taunts me, then I could bear it. It is not an adversary who deals insolently with me, then I could hide from him. But it is you, a man, my equal, my companion, my familiar friend. We used to take sweet counsel together. With God's house, we walked in the throne. Okay, there are many pains you can have in your life. Right? There are many ways you get killed, okay? I want to be killed by a stranger. If I have choice, okay? I'd like to be killed by an enemy I don't know. But I don't want to be killed by my friend. We went to church together, sang the praise together, and let's talk about this. companion there. And look at the verse 20. My companion stretched out his hand against all his friends. This guy tried to kill all his friends. Not just me, David, but every friend. He violated his covenant. That means he made some kind of agreement with his friends, and he broke his agreement. His speech was smooth as butter, yet war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn sword. Okay, think about it. You know what's the most painful thing you can experience in life? That you go crazy and then you want to be like a dog, winged dog. Or in modern times, angry bird. Okay? Angry bird. People play lots of angry birds. Right? It is betrayed by your close friend, a man of your equal. So this is a high level friend. David was what? A man after his God's own heart. And David was one of the most brilliant guys. Okay? He was a soldier, he was a singer like my son Andrew. He can sing a sweet talk to girls, like Andrew. No musical, not musical. Please go and sing. Okay. And then God, and also he was very religious. He went to church every day, every Sunday. And then in his heart, he did not come to worship God, but to kill all his friends so he can be a king. So for him, everybody is competitors. He had no heart in his heart. And then he wanted to kill his beloved friend David. So he's coming to his real core issue. Why he had to complain and then mourn David. And then David expressed his life by his danger like this. My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death has fallen upon me. Fear and the trembling come upon me, and horror overwhelms me. Verses 45. So, what kind of friend do you like to have? Let me ask you. A friend who cannot speak well and who's very rough, but who has a good heart. Or your friend who's very smooth, but in his heart want to kill you. If given the option, which one do you like? How about what kind of friend do you like? Option? Okay. A friend who's not mannered, okay, very rough talking, but has a good heart. Or a friend who is very smooth, speech is very smooth, but heart was very bad.
The first one.
Oh, first. All right. So, this is one of the things that so-called religious people can do. He was very religious, and then he was very high level, but in his heart, he wanted to kill his friend. And then David loved this guy. And then they realized that his friend can come today and kill me. And he was utterly terrified because this guy is a man of David. Do you know what that means? David was a soldier and he can kill, okay? Then this guy can kill also. And he saw the throne. And then he agonized this. So, when you live in life, I wish nobody has a heartbreak. I wish that nobody, all your friends love you. And then do not double talk, okay? and all your friends kiss you and then hug you, okay? Is it alright? No. Because sooner or later, the person you thought your friend will betray you, will break covenant, and then try to harm you. And how do you process that? Right? So I think David was on the brink of going cuckoo because he cannot process. He almost went there because he wanted to be like a dog and live in the desert. Okay, he became very irrational. And there are times like that. There are times that you just want to forget about it. Okay, I'll become antisocial. I'll become a monk. Okay, I live in the monastery. Okay, right? And then I forget about this. I had it with people. Okay, I'll just be myself. Okay. But that's not good way. Do you know why? Because we are made to live with people. I cannot imagine living myself in the desert. Okay, I need my wife and my children, and I need a special right person. Okay, entertainment, Jill needs to entertain me. Right? I need people. So we are a social being. So we cannot be just like a computer just sitting in the. We like to attach to people. So it's very, so whenever you have this urge, please look at yourself and then process. And then David do two things, okay? First of all, he says he called on the Lord. And then he cast his burdens to the Lord. So it starts with complaints and moan, and then here comes the real issue of the companion, friends, people. Usually people are the problem, okay? In life, people are the problem, okay? In life, relationships are the problems, okay? All the problems come from what? Relationship, okay? If you're a wife, all the problem comes from husband, okay? If you're a husband, it comes from wife, okay? If it's like you go to school, your problem comes from your friends, right? People come from friends, okay? Right? Come with the close people. Right? That's the problem, right? And then how do you process that? And then David did a very, very important stuff. He called on the Lord and he cast his burden to the Lord. And verse 16, but I called to God, and the Lord will save me. This is the profound statement. Nobody will save me. I cannot save myself anyway. I cannot save Abe's home. Who saves? The Lord saves me. I utter my complaints and the moan, and he hears my voice. Who's going to hear your voice? He redeems my soul in safety, and from better than I ways. When many are arrayed against me, God will give ear and humble them, and he who's enthroned from of old. It's a matter of time. People think that they are smart, and they can fool everyone, including the King David. But God is there. God is just. You cannot violate the justice of God. Many people try, all fail. Right? Justice wins. You cannot take advantage of people. Those people will be thrown into what? Shall not, they all die. That's the Bible truth. In history, many people try to violate this, but they all fail. Justice, so that's why we love justice, right? Justice wins. And then, in 22, cast your burden on the Lord, and he'll sustain you. He'll never permit the righteous to be moved. Okay, so when you are hurt, you have to do two things, okay? You have to call on the Lord who can save you, and you have to cast your burden to the Lord. But we know this, okay? Intrinsically, we know this. Okay? I'm not teaching you the new principle that you don't know. Suppose you are carrying heavy bag, okay? And then you're carrying it, okay? And then it weighs 2 tons. Then it'll just crush you. And then somebody said, hey, give that back to me, I'll carry it. Then what will you do? Of course I'll give it to them. Okay? Please, okay, you can have all mine, okay? And cast, okay? So that's the promise of God, right? The Christian life is casting your burden to the Lord because He will sustain you. That is a fundamental truth, right? You don't give burden to your wife. You don't cast your burden to wife, okay? So, but you just cast your burden to the Lord, because I think it's very difficult to do that, because when I studied like some studies, whenever I'm frustrated, my number one thing is to cast my burden to my wife, okay? And then she can be crushed, okay? So at a certain point, I made some kind of agreement with God. So I will never say nothing about my study to my wife, okay? When I come to my home, that's it. I'll never talk about my research. It's over, because I cast my burden to God. I'm not going to complain about my things. She has enough burden, so I'll say, okay, I'm not going to talk about my research. I'm not talk about my work. That's it. Otherwise, you might cast my burden to her, and then she'll cast my burden to me. Then we all got crushed. Okay? Because I think this is a very, very important principle that you should know. Because as a husband, you are working so hard, and then you go home and then you complain to your wife. I don't know if I made a mistake of studying, and then I don't know, I'm going to come alive, or I'm going to get a job, and then you crush your spouse. So what you have to do is you have to cast your burden to what? To the Lord. You don't cast your burden to your father or your mother or your children. Right? So I think one of the things that I really liked my father was he was crushed man. He has so many burdens, but he never talked about his problem to me. I said, you have enough problem. I will cast my burden to God, but not to you. So he learned to separate himself from the ministry, and then he learned to separate himself from the pressure of the world, so I can breathe. Right? You know what's important concept? Because everyone has a burden of life, right? Who has not have a burden of your life? But don't throw your burden to me, okay? Right? I'm not Jesus, okay? I'm not Christ. You throw that burden to God, okay? There's no way I can help you. I can encourage you to throw to Jesus, but not to me. But I'm not the issue, okay? Because 2 ways I got hurt this summer. 2 ways, and I tried to process it. Because some people said they had some problem, and then they said they said it is my problem. Because of me, I got in trouble. I said, what? I just taught the Bible, and I said a few